People are getting stuck in the tutorial section of Donkey Kong Bonanza, and it's not because of a game-breaking glitch or anything like that. Instead, it's actually because of a mental or moral dilemma that players are going through. And that is the dilemma of breadth versus depth, or of exploration versus progress. If you've ever watched your older sibling or a friend play a video game, then you'll know what I'm talking about. There are moments where they will have ignored something that you would have not. Moments where they decide to go deeper into a cave where you would have explored way more of. In other words, there's a trade-off between how much you want to explore in a game and how much you want to progress with its story. And personally, I've always had a rule where I'd have to fully explore an area before proceeding to the next one. With the release of Donkey Kong Bonanza though, my one-size-fits-all rule for approaching a game ran into a wall, and I'm sure you can see why. With this game, to fully explore an area, you'd have to smash for hours to clear out every rock from every corner of the room. And unlike in other games, that's not just something you can easily do. Instead, Donkey Kong Bonanza forces you to bring that question to the surface and consciously think about whether or not you want to spend your time exploring. That said, not everyone seems to consider this a decision. A Reddit post I came across one day comes to mind. The OP asks, "Is this game going to give me OCD?" From what I can remember, the post contained a link of a screenshot of Donkey Kong staring into the first tunnel that you spawn in the game, with the OP being seemingly paralyzed by the amount of options he had to proceed. Now the OP was probably just being hyperbolic, but what stands out to me is just how many people have had this reaction to starting this game. If you watch Arlo's first impression of the game, he literally titled his video, "Help, I'm stuck on Donkey Kong Bonanza's tutorial." Let me cut to the chase. All of the points and questions I've been walking you guys through are converging to one meta question. Where do we draw the line of exploration versus progress in Donkey Kong Bonanza, or just for games in general? The answer, of course, varies person by person, which is why some people got stuck on the tutorial screen while others didn't. Therefore, the most appropriate way to answer this question is not with a single answer, but with a spectrum, where different types of players fall into different parts of the line. On the left-hand side, you have the tendency to progress with the story. Let's label it depth. On the right-hand side, you have the tendency for exploration. In other words, breadth. The average person will fall in the middle. Sure, they'll get an urge to smash a big chunk of the map, but that spark is very likely to die down in a matter of minutes, prompting them to return to the story. That's not to say that any specific person is perfectly balanced in their gameplay. If you were to pick a random person, they would very likely lean more to the left or more to the right based on factors like how patient they are, their curiosity, but on average, if you pick enough people, you'll likely end up in the middle. All the way on the left, or on the depth side of the gradient, we have people like the reviewers at IGN. These guys have external pressure to finish the game as soon as possible, so that they're able to review the game. And there's not too much more to say there, except that honestly I'd hate to be them because I'd hate to be rushed to beat a game. On the total opposite side of the spectrum, we have content creators and streamers. Content creators are also prone to external pressure for the sake of engagement. They often take on unrealistically hard and, frankly, unnecessary challenges and are willing to spend tons of hours cracking at it. Let's take Alex from Nintendo Life for example. He actually made a video where he cleared the entire lagoon layer, and according to him,
it wasn't fun to do it in the first place, to be brutally honest.
But look at the amount of views that video got relative to other videos on his channel. Clearly, in his case, there was a pretty big reward to actually going and spending his time doing this. If I was to place myself on this spectrum, and nowadays considering I have a 9 to 5 and a family, I would definitely be more of a quote-unquote depthy. I do love my exploration still, but if my play sessions don't have a sufficient amount of progress in the story as well, I start to get anxious and feel like I've wasted some time that I should have used to catch up on my responsibilities. Like, I can't imagine myself collecting 900 Korok seeds while I'm already behind on my backlog of games I want to play. Now, if you'd asked me 10 years ago, I would have been a breadthy for sure, as I was much more willing to spend hours not doing the story. So now, my question to you is, where do you land on this spectrum? Are you a breadthy or are you a depthy? I have this suspicion that most people believe that it's inherently better to just spend more time exploring than to progress with a game, which is evidenced by the fact that so many people are getting stuck in the tutorial section of Donkey Kong Bonanza. Hell, I know 3 people off the top of mind who never beat Tears of the Kingdom because they got overwhelmed by the amount of side quests they were doing. And this is precisely why I think it's important to bring up this question of how much to explore versus how much to progress in a game. If you're exploring that much that it's preventing you from beating a game, well then, clearly you're not balancing your gameplay correctly. It's okay not to smash everything in Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's okay not to collect all 900 Korok seeds in Tears of the Kingdom. Just because you're getting completionist urges doesn't mean they're the right thing to do. And so if there's anything that I want you to take away from this video, it's to figure out for yourself how you like to play games in a manner that you most enjoy. Hey there, it takes a lot of effort making videos like this, and honestly, I need some positive feedback to motivate myself to make more thought-provoking content than the much less fulfilling clip farming I've been doing lately. So make sure to like and subscribe, not just for me, but for the algorithm to know that videos like this should get more attention than my admittedly brain rot shrine cheesing tutorials that I've been doing lately. I mean, I love making content like that too, but it just feels way less fulfilling, and I would really love to transition more into some thought-provoking or mathematical content. Like, go ahead and watch my latest video about Mario Kart where I calculate his speed in real-world units. I think if you like this video, you would like that one.